Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and game 1 in the finals between mousesports and fnatic. Game 1 set 1 taking place here on Shakura's Plateau. Thorzain spawning as the red Terran player, meanwhile Fenix spawning as the blue Terran player as well. Now, a little bit of overview as this game does get underway. I'll leave the production tab up for you guys so you can see what's happening. Now, each of these games are going to be a best of 3 series. Essentially, each best of 3 series is a $250 show match between fnatic and mousesports. Now, the team that wins the most games, or the most games in this best of 5 series overall, will in addition win a $1,250 on top of that for a total purse of $2,500. So right now, Fenix versus Thorzain, both of them are playing for $250. I don't know if that's going to be split or for them to take home individually, but they are also playing for the pride of their clan as well, as if the clan wins overall, that's a nice $1,250 bonus for them. And there are, I believe, a total of up to 6 players, because there is a 2v2 matchup as well. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm talking about. If you don't, feel free to leave comments. I will go ahead and try to make it a little bit more coherent, as this game is now already underway. So Thorzain on the top left-hand side of Shakura's Plateau. Meanwhile, Fenix on the bottom right-hand side of Shakura's Plateau. And Fenix opting to build the barracks a little bit further away from the ramp. And meanwhile, we have Thorzain doing a wall-in. So pretty similar strategies in terms of the build orders, building placements, not quite mirrored nearly as much, as we are also going into Refinery. It looks like Fenix and Thorzain both scouting out with their 14th or 13th SCV, making sure that they do not lose any harvesting time, and make sure that they can continually train SCVs throughout this matchup. You're going to see the SCV and SCVs now cross each other in the middle of the night. And this is also the version of Shakura's Plateau that has the backdoor rocks. So that is very important. There are backdoor rocks. There is no way to get up to the ramp from here or here as well. This is not the BattleNet version. This is the TSL version. As the supply depot now goes up, you can see that Thorzain getting a lot more scouting information. Now I'm going to try to take a look around. Fenix has set up a supply depot over here. It looks like Thorzain has not spotted it yet, though, as we are now going to get a Marine trying to shoot down this one poor SCV. Stevie the SCV already down to 9 hit points, going to run away and perhaps get back up on this top side. Now, Shakura's Plateau, it is always going to be a diagonal cross spawn on the TSL versions the last time I checked. So that's how they both knew to scout each other in that particular direction. As a Marine continues to give chase, a Marine now going to hang out by this Zelnaga watchtower down over here and gain a little bit more information. We are going into a factory, though. So in comes this factory, and we'll see what the positioning on this factory really means. We are also going into a reactor as well. So reactor factory normally means Hellion play, but I can't imagine that to be the case this time around. It may be a Marine tank play, as Marine tank is also very, very strong as well, as we also see a Reaper expansion now coming out from Fenix. So Reaper expansion from Fenix with this one Reaper looking to deal some damage. We'll be able to jump up onto this high ground here and then perhaps snipe down some SCVs on this far side. There are Marines over here as well. And now what is this factory going to do? The factory is now factory should be laying down a tech lab in just a moment. So this may be the classic gameplay of trying to go into Banshees after Banshees, and a Raven perhaps, then swapping it around in order to get Marines and siege tanks. Taking a look at this Reaper, or the Marine up here, the Marine now making its way in. It doesn't, the Marine getting some damage onto that one supply depot, but not much really happening there. Otherwise, we are going to have 2 Reapers making their way into the center, or the backside of this map. 2 Reapers, though, not going to be able to deal as much damage as, say, 3, as 3 Reapers are able to one-shot any of those units. I guess 2 Reapers are able to 2-shot SCV, or 2-shot 2 SCVs as well. So that will be, or 2-shot an SCV as well. So that will help as the Marines, and now over here, and now in a bit of trouble as the Reaper is able to get off 1 kill, 2 kills already. Now looking to get a 3rd kill on that SCV. Down it goes, and now the Reapers are deciding to back off. Worker kills already at 4 worker kills. I believe it was, no, I cannot use the Control R just because there is a 3rd player, computer number 5, making it very, very difficult for me. Alright, so I cannot keep track of the worker kills since this is the TSL cloaked version of the map, and I'm not quite sure why there's a yellow Terran player. But he, in fact, is there, making it so that I can't actually use the Control N or Control Rs for those additional little nifty tabs. We are going to have just Marines guarding the back door now. That one Reaper already low on hit points, as this Reaper perhaps going to jump up and try to take a look. He knows that there is a command center there, or an orbital command center there, so he knows that he can't really deal too much, as we are now moving out with one Banshee. So it is going to be one Banshee play into, I believe, a factory with Siege Tech. We'll see what's going to be happening here, as it looks like a barracks is going to be built instead. So this may just become mass bio in just a moment. Banshees now pushing their way in. It looks like this one poor Marine is going to get shot down rather quickly. One shot. Oh, unable to get off any additional shots there. One shot, two shot, trying to micro. The Banshee does have slightly better range. Now going after an SCV, and there are a couple of Hellions to take down as well. So let's see what's going to be happening here as the Banshees going after SCVs. 1, 2 already down. It looks like 3 SCVs going to get taken down rather easily. Another shot there. So now going after the Marines. The Marines are going to get destroyed. And now out comes a Viking. Oh, Thorzain is in trouble. Able to get off one more SCV kill. But that Viking able to pop out right there. I thought a medevac would be coming out first, but no, a Viking coming out first. Nice adjustment, as the Hellion now has that blue flame research, looking for a medevac. The medevac is now being trained, but it will be quite some time before he is able to lift off and get into that location, as Thorzain also has a Viking of his own in production, so that Viking should be able to snipe down that medevac if the medevac is caught in time. But if it's a straight elevator drop, it may not work out, as the Reapers are now going to try to run in once more. There are a group of Marines over there. The Reapers are now trying to jump down over here. It doesn't look like it's going to be very successful at all, as the Hellions pushing towards the front side. And Thorzain, with enough stationary static defense, doesn't even... Oh yeah, stationary static defense. How double speak there, just with enough units over here and over here as well, without having to really micro, able to counter that attack by Fenix. Taking a look at the armies, army of Thorzain significantly larger, 68 over 70 compared to 53 over 54. Income 1500 versus 1400, 41 harvesters compared to 38 now. So the difference is starting to show, as Thorzain is now starting to get a pretty small advantage. The advantage is not that significant just quite yet, but it is going to help out significantly, as the one Hellion quickly gets taken down there. So we'll see how this push works out. There are 2 siege tanks, a couple Marines, stim pack nearing completion, currently about 50 seconds away. Stim pack, one of the longest researches in all the entire game there, as a poor Marine being sent to just charge up that ramp. And now siege tank perhaps going to do a little bit of sieging here and try to push back. No, the siege tank is not quite done. Both sides trying to siege their tanks. You can see one siege tank over here. The siege tank's now just going to simply push up that ramp. And how much damage is going to be dealt? The siege tank's now pushing in. SCVs coming off the mineral line as well. This one poor siege tank going to get destroyed. No point defense drones. The siege tanks, both sides battling it out. A lot of workers were killed though. So Thorzain exchanging his army for workers. And we'll see how that works. Overall, 39 harvesters compared to 41, as it looked like a lot of SCVs were killed over here at the same time. It looks like a Hellion drop may have happened as well, so both sides losing a significant number of workers, as I got distracted for just a moment. Taking a look at the army combinations, it is now even 1,200 versus 1,000 now, as this Viking still patrolling in between these two locations here, trying to see if there is going to be a medevac that it can snipe off. The Hellions here, yeah, the Hellions were able to get off a couple quick kills and then land back down. It looks like a medevac drop of Marines perhaps going to be pushing out, and the Hellions may be able to spot this medevac. Yes, it does spot the medevac. The key question is, does Fenix spot it? The Vikings already in pursuit, waiting to hunt down this medevac here. This medevac going to be in a bit of trouble, as I'm not sure if he actually saw the Hellion either. The medevac now making a look around, and oh, there is that sensor tower up now. Vikings already in position, and this medevac is just going to run straight to its death, I believe. We'll see what's going to be happening here in just a moment, as the medevac now quickly realizing that there is that sensor tower up. He doesn't want to get caught in radar. and now deciding to back off. Taking a look at Fenix. Fenix sitting at 86 over 86 compared to 97 over 129. So Thorzain has a lot more food to work with as the Hellions once again backing off. The Hellions very, very slow to start attacking. So that's one of the reasons why it's rather difficult for Fenix to really do anything there as the Hellions once again push up that ramp. And now you can see Thorzain establishing his third base. Thorzain establishing his third base. Fenix not too far behind as the reactor also coming into play. Level 1 weapons upgrade. Combat shield now being researched by Fenix. And we already have the combat shields for Thorzain, as well as the Vikings are now on the hunt for this one medevac over here. Is it going to be able to make a move as Fenix now taking this center expansion location? So very interesting, trying to take the center expansion location. It looks like the SCVs were transferred over in time. Fenix most likely is going to get spotted as the Marines are now pushing in and getting in a lot of damage. All they need to do now is destroy these rocks, and as soon as those rocks go down, it is going to be very difficult. There are siege tanks over here. Fenix needs to make a move, and rather quickly. Otherwise, he's going to lose this expansion. The Xel'Naga Watchtower now offering sight onto this expansion here. How much does Thorzain actually see? He sees a good deal, as if he just sieges up down here, he should be able to start blasting away, and now dealing so much damage towards those siege tanks there. So both sides pushing in. Marines now being forced to pull back once more, and down goes another siege tank. Marines are going to try to simply charge in, and unable to do so. That siege tank's going to get destroyed as the medevac now offering sight there. Both sides now pushing in. Thorzain's Marines getting caught behind his own siege tanks there, and now both sides are sieging up. It looks like a medevac. No, that drop did not take place. The Vikings are still in preparation, as the SCVs are now being sent to the front lines once again to try to clean up against those siege tanks. So much splash damage from those tanks as Thorzain starts shelling this command center. You can see it now lifting off as Fenix realizing that he cannot upgrade that to an orbital command. It would just be all for naught as the siege tanks are in the center. Fenix now looking to establish an expansion here, as that's the only natural place to go now, as the siege tanks are now just continuing to push out across the map with Marine support. Marines are upgraded 1-0, no armor upgrade yet. Thorzain still with a slightly smaller advantage in terms of his army, but he has a stronger economic advantage as well, as more siege tanks are rolling out. Taking a look at the harvester count, 73 compared to 48. Fenix is in a bit of trouble. He needs to salvage this game. He does have he will have one upgrades in just a moment on those Marines, so that will help out in the infantry battles. But Thorzain with a lot of siege tanks now making their way in. Siege tanks both sides battling out. Marines are now pushing through, and the Fenix may benefit from his natural armor. Their siege tanks are now trying to push back out once again. I think Fenix is going to be able to clean this up. You can see there's only a couple Marines left, and now down go the rest of those medevacs, and now Thorzain losing a majority of his army there, and now Fenix with a dominant strategy, and now Thorzain really tried to overpress his advantage for just a moment, and now you can see the medevacs are deciding to back off. Marines, Vikings are now coming in. The Vikings may be able to finish off another one of those medevacs there before it gets taken down. And now Fenix with a 21,950 advantage has a sizable army advantage, but will he know to push out at this time? That is the key question. Fenix also now muling away at this expansion over here. You can see that the Marines are trying to take down these backdoor rocks. The factory about to be destroyed, or the factory, it does spot this, as these Marines may simply be able to stim up in just a moment. Army taking a look at the combinations. Both sides about even. Not enough siege tanks here, as the siege tanks are going to siege up for Fenix. Yeah, siege tanks of Fenix are now sieging up, and both sides battling out. Marines are now going to try to get into position there. One Viking laying waste, and Thorzain, wow, Thorzain getting a lot of free kills on Fenix's units there, as this one siege tank does get taken down. And army-wise, we also have Fenix with a slight advantage, as now Fenix also now getting his expansion rolled over once again. It looks like this orbital command may get taken down. The Marines are trying to stim in, trying to shut it down, but unable to, as the reinforcements now come in. And Fenix with a very, very sizable army advantage, and now perhaps but not a sizable economic advantage at all, as he is behind. Thorzain now trying to press his advantage once again. Marines trying to barrel their way through as many siege tanks as possible, and it looks like a lot of damage will be dealt. Marines are now coming back once again, and Thorzain once again switching and changing up his army, and now he has the advantage. So both sides exchanging blows back and forth. Thorzain now once again with the advantage, and as long as he's able to keep his economic advantage, he will have a very significant a very significant and larger potent army at this stage. 2,900 versus 1,900. If you only look at the mineral contents of the armies, you can see the Marines and Medevacs are over here. They cannot really engage. 2 siege tanks in the center portion, as both sides are trying to shell each other out and deal as much damage as possible. Marines are now, once again, stimming, and they will try to run into this location here. The Marines are already backing off over here. The group of Marines, Phoenix's Marines, gonna quickly clean this up, as that medevac now destroyed. So no effective drop play here, as siege tanks are now, what are they going to try to do? They're going to try to do an elevator drop of their own up onto the high ground. Siege tanks may siege up, and yeah, Thorzain now with a couple Marines, and it looks like this siege tank will be able to siege up as well. So Thorzain now dealing a devastating blow into the base of Fenix, and Fenix is now going to be in a bit of trouble. The Marines are now trying to make their way over, but the siege tanks on the low ground offering plenty of support there, and no more Marines just getting cleaned up left and right, as the Marines now going after the SCVs here, and now it looks like this will get taken down rather quickly, as these Marines are going to be pretty much left to die inside the base. Both sides battling it out still. The siege tanks need to handle these units over here, but Thorzain really getting a lot of minerals for get a return on investment here, as the Marines are now going to try to clean up some of those tanks. No, the tank's going to clean them up instead. But the more harvester damage has been done, 45 compared to 74, as Fenix now rolls on out. Another command center now being built, as the siege tanks, both sides battling out. Marines are now pushing in. These siege tanks are not yet sieging up. Both sides sieging up at just the same time there. Marines are trying to split apart, trying to maximize the damage, as these siege tanks of Fenix are going to get caught a little bit out of position. More Marines now coming in from the north, and I believe Fenix has to say GG, and yes, there it goes. There's the GG from Fenix. So mousesports is Thorzain taking game 1 in this best of 3 series. We'll see how he does in game 2.